Hello and welcome to Ananda Permaculture Farm. I'm back here today on the 2nd of January with another episode of What's Growing. It's a very cold afternoon today. It's about 17 degrees Celsius, which is cold by our standards. I'm sure some of you in colder countries might be thinking that's not so cold, but I'm definitely feeling very cold. I'm wearing my father's jacket even though it's a bit oversized for me, but this is a way of remembering him, and I've been wearing his jacket to the farm during this winter and really enjoying that. So I'm here today in my Wi-Fi garden. You are familiar with this garden. It's called Wi-Fi because it is designed in the shape of a Wi-Fi symbol, and we've planted a lot of winter vegetables here. So I'm just going to take you around and show you what's growing in my Wi-Fi garden this winter. So let's start off from here. These are some of the perennials that are there, papayas, and you can see papaya circles are built along this entire edge. Not only do we get great papayas from these circles, but we also manage to compost all our waste in these pits, and that's one additional reason why I really enjoy having papaya circles in each of our gardens. Right here under me, you can see some zucchini plants. Now these plants were suffering from some powdery mildew, so I have actually pruned them quite aggressively, removed all the damaged leaves and cut them back a bit. And now all the fresh leaves that are emerging, I'm really happy to note that they're absolutely clear. They have no fungal infection of any sort, and I'm looking forward to them starting to produce zucchinis again. Okay, that's a plum tree which I've secured with a string because it was going haywire. Hopefully this will straighten it out. And some nice beets growing there, and cauliflower here. So you will see as you walk along this garden that a lot of the winter vegetables are in different stages because they've been planted at different times. Remember, the key thing to keep getting a steady harvest of vegetables is to stagger the plantation. If you plant every week, you will have food to eat every week. But if you plant everything in one day, then you'll have tons of cauliflower and cabbage on one day and nothing the week later. So always remember to stagger your plantation, and that's exactly what you can see here on either side. You'll see some brinjals, and in the middle of that there are some quinoa trees, some moringa, cabbage growing here, and cauliflower. Similarly, here to my right you'll see cabbage, and hopefully that's going to start forming pretty soon. Now I can already see small cabbages starting to form, and I'm looking forward to the others as well. This is all broccoli, and let's come here and let's take a look at what's growing here. So all this is radish, and then you can see carrots here, and these have been thinned out appropriately, also heavily mulched, and that's some red radish out there. So we have a small patch of carrots and radish, which we should be actually ready to pull them out in a few days' time. And out here I can see the cauliflower, and they're tiny little flowers which are starting to form all through this patch. Now this patch is probably like planted on the same day, so you can see that these are all growing like about the same height and same development stage. There are a lot of brinjal that I've planted here. You can see some towards my right also. The expectation is really for these to give fruit in the summer, but I did start a lot of them up. I'm not very happy with how these have been planted because there's some empty space in the middle. Ideally, I would have planted the brinjals closer together and left the space on either side. That way the edges could have been used to grow something else, and that's exactly what I've done here for these tomatoes, which you can see which have been trellised, and on the edges there are some carrots which have been planted. So these carrots are growing on the edge, and that's really the correct way of using your bed. Plant the taller things in the middle and the shorter things on the edges. Some broccoli here, and we also have a bunch of flowers which are growing here. And I remember, like, you know, we got these seedlings from the nursery and no other bed was ready, so I actually just planted the flowers here, though they probably don't belong here. And similarly to my left, I've planted chilies here which are still quite small, but they will again be growing up through spring and then starting to give us chilies in the summer. You can also see some citrus right at the back, and what you see here growing randomly is actually brassica or mustard. And imagine we just have this self-seeding and growing on its own, to the extent that we actually have to remove it sometimes because it's conflicting with something that we've planted. Lots of beets here to my right, and more cabbage, and you can see the abundance here, like it's just bursting with cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, and yeah, I mean, I just feel so excited when I see all this growing here, and waiting for the flowers to form. That bed where we are headed now is the one which was planted the earliest. So the cauliflower and the cabbage, the cauliflower and the broccoli here should be the biggest and the closest to getting harvested. It's nice to tuck in some of the citrus plants in these beds because the roots of a citrus plant are pretty shallow, and so it can only take water from the surface, doesn't really go down too deep. And by putting them in your beds, you actually end up ensuring that they have a great chance at survival too, because you will tend to water your vegetable garden more often than your forest. So I've really noticed a big difference in our citrus ever since we started putting them into our beds, because earlier they were growing in the forest and we don't water our forests that often. So that's really the the outside edge of the larger Wi-Fi garden. Now let me take you to the smaller, what we call the 2G. Come. Before we get there, I wanted to show you these brinjals. They've actually been chomped upon by a nocturnal visitor that we had. And this has been like, from what I can make out of his description, seems to be a sambar, which is a large deer-like animal with pretty big antlers. So even though we managed to spot him at night, but generally the night watchman feels a bit scared of him because of his antlers. And he really likes the brinjal, so it's eaten up all these brinjal here, given them a nice pruning, I have to say. And well, such is life, fair share, I say. They should get something to eat of their own as well. So this is the fire that we've been setting up now in the evenings to actually keep him away, and I think we are getting some moderate success out of this fire. This is a fig grove and it has a lot of figs on the tree. We've yet to really figure out how this fig tree works, because sometimes we get fruit which is ripening, at other times we just don't get any ripe fruit. Usually it just sort of the fruit just drops here to the ground and starts composting here itself. So it's a mixed bag, but we love this tree for its canopy, and we do a lot of our introduction to permaculture sessions on Saturdays under this tree cover during the summer. I always like planting flowers in my garden. So here's a little patch of marigold, which is starting to flower now quite a bit. And then as we enter this little garden, you will see more brinjal. And I'm actually using the word brinjal very casually because I can't tell the difference between the plants till such time as the fruit appears. But this is a combination of either, brinjal, eggplant, which is slightly longer, small brinjals, which are like baby brinjals, and then also the long, eggplant, like the long one. So it's a combination of all these varieties which have been planted all over. I'll only know which is which when it actually gives fruit. And some more cauliflower here and some chili plants here. And just check out this self-seeded mustard. How beautiful it's looking in all its yellow glory. Really lovely actually. Now here are some more tomatoes, and there is also some turnip here. It's actually the last of a few plants which were planted here, and we have a lot of spring onions which are here planted on the edges. This is the correct way of really planting your raised bed. Put the tall guys in the middle, which is where the tomatoes are, and put the shallow single plants on the edges, like either the turnip or the onions. Now here to my right are beans. So you can see here they are French beans. They're actually not a creeper, but I didn't know that, so I've ended up trellising them up. But it's actually just a bush, and it's flowering quite a lot now. So I suspect I should start getting beans out of it pretty soon. And here are the spring onions. I think they should be doing quite well. Let me try to pull one out just to see whether they are ready to be. Oops, not yet. Long way to go. Can't even put it back. All right. That was misleading. It looked like it was ready, but it clearly wasn't. So some more cauliflower and tomatoes. You can see we just have a lot of fruit growing here, and some of the cauliflower here has started fruiting as well. So you can see this one getting a little flower in the middle. And then there at the back is some red cabbage. In fact, it's here as well. So this is all red cabbage, and that's the normal green cabbage. So a lot of cabbage growing here. And as we go down this garden, the plants become smaller and smaller because the last seedlings for the year have been planted here. So that's really how I've been working on this garden. That this is the last bunch of cauliflower that we've planted, so this we are going to get right at the end. And as we start clearing out the garden from the top, I will start planting summer vegetables there as we head towards this area. So you have to always look at how to sort of sequence your plantation, what to put where. I've put a lot of the perennials much closer to where I am as zone 0, and put things which are going to be harvested upon ripening, like the whole plant is harvested, like a cauliflower or a cabbage, much further from my zone 0, because these are places that are going to empty out pretty soon, and in the summer I may not go all the way there to do any watering. So that's our Wi-Fi garden. My God, it's really filled with food at this point, and I'm hoping that all of it matures into lovely produce that we can enjoy through the rest of the winter. And it's been a pleasure for me to plant this garden. In fact, almost this entire area has been planted personally by me. And the fun fact is that I've done that without any tools. So no spade, no pick, nothing, just my hands. Because the soil is so moist, so soft, so well aerated, all you have to do is just push it aside a little bit and put in your seedling or drop the seed. That's the beauty of well mulched, aerated, rich with organic content soils, that it's a pleasure to work with them. And then because we don't step on them, we've provided enough pathways, they never get compacted and they remain like that, like really fluffy and nutrient rich. So with this kind of soil, I'm sure I should be getting an excellent produce as well. And you can see more about that in our new series called The Harvest. So we are putting out some videos around the harvest now and then. Do take a look at those if you want to follow me around as I pick some of this produce and take it home to my family. That's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this walk around the Wi-Fi garden. And if you have any comments or feedback, do drop them in the comment box right below. And if you like this video, please do give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends on your social networks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.